A baby deer can stand and walk within an hour of being born. A baby horse can run the same day. But a human baby can't lift its own head, can't crawl, can't survive a single day alone. We are born more helpless than almost any animal on Earth. And that weakness might be the reason humans rule the planet. So why are human babies born so broken? And why would evolution ever allow it? At first, the answer seems obvious. Babies are small. Brains take time. Of course, a newborn can't do much yet. It simply has not grown up. Give it a year, give it 5, and it catches up. The helplessness looks like nothing more than a waiting room. A pause before the real human switches on. But that picture is too simple. Because human helplessness is not just slowness. It is extreme. Look across the animal world, and you find two basic ways of being born. Some animals arrive ready. Eyes open, legs working, instincts already loaded. A foal, a calf, a baby antelope, within hours they can stand, follow the herd, and run from a predator. Other animals arrive unfinished, blind, hairless, sealed-eyed, completely dependent. A newborn mouse, a kitten, a baby bird waiting in the nest. And here is the strange part. By body size, by lifespan, by brain power, humans should belong with the ready ones. We are large, long-lived, intelligent primates. Our closest relatives, chimpanzees, are born far more capable than we are. A baby chimp can cling to its mother almost immediately. A human baby can't even do that. We are the big, smart animal that gets born like the helpless small ones. That is not what you would expect. And evolution rarely keeps something this costly by accident. To understand why, we have to go back, long before cribs, before language, before the first human word was ever spoken. We have to go back to the moment our ancestors stood up. Millions of years ago, early humans began walking on 2 legs. Standing upright changed almost everything about the body. It freed the hands. It changed how we moved, how far we could travel, how we carried food and tools. But it also reshaped one specific part of the skeleton, the pelvis. Walking on 2 legs works best with a narrower, more compact pelvis. A wide, sprawling hip is good for a creature on 4 legs. For an upright walker, it is unstable and inefficient. So over time, natural selection pulled the human pelvis inward. The hips narrowed. The birth canal, the opening a baby must pass through, narrowed with them. For a long time, that was fine. Then something else happened. The human brain began to grow. Not a little, dramatically. Over a few million years, brain size in our ancestors roughly tripled. Bigger brains meant bigger skulls. And a bigger skull needs a bigger opening to be born through. Do you see the problem forming? 2 pressures, pulling in opposite directions. Bipedalism was squeezing the birth canal smaller. Brain growth was demanding it get larger. A narrow exit and a growing head, on the same body, at the same time. Both could not win. Scientists have a name for this collision. They call it the obstetrical dilemma. And the human solution to it is one of the strangest compromises in our entire story. If the head can't get bigger at birth, then the baby has to come out before the head gets too big. So human babies are born early. Not early in the sense of premature illness, early in the sense of unfinished. Born while the brain is still small enough to fit through the narrow gap, and left to do most of its growing on the outside. A newborn human brain is only about a quarter of its adult size. A newborn chimp's brain is already closer to half. In a sense, much of what should be happening inside the womb, building the brain, wiring the body, gets pushed out into the open world. Some scientists call those first months a kind of 4th trimester. A pregnancy that finishes outside the body, in your arms instead of inside the womb. And that growth is staggering. In the first year alone, a human brain nearly doubles in size. New connections form at a rate found at no other point in life. Countless links wiring up every second, shaped by everything the baby sees, hears, and touches. The womb could never have done this. There is not enough room, not enough energy, not enough of the outside world to learn from. So the building gets finished where the learning can happen, out here, surrounded by everything the brain will need to become a mind. That is why a human baby is so helpless. Not because something went wrong, because it was, in a way, born too soon, by design. But the story is not that clean, because for a long time, people told this as a simple tug of war. hips versus head, a narrow birth canal forcing an early birth. And recently, scientists have started to question whether that is the whole answer. Some researchers point to a different limit: energy. Growing a baby is enormously expensive for the mother's body. Late in pregnancy, the energy a mother must pour into a growing fetus climbs toward a ceiling, the maximum her body can sustain. By this idea, birth happens not only when the head won't fit, but around the moment the mother simply cannot fuel any more growth inside her. The narrow pelvis may be only part of it. Metabolism may be the other. The truth is probably a mix: pelvis, energy, brain, and the messy pressures of survival, all tangled together. And here is the honest part. We still do not know exactly why human birth times the way it does. The collision is real. The helplessness is real. But the full reason is still being argued over, in labs and journals, right now. And yet, whatever forced it, that helplessness changed everything. Think about what it means to be born unfinished. A foal is born almost complete. Its brain is largely wired for the world it will live in, a world of grass, herds, and predators. It does not need to learn much, because it is already mostly built. But a human is born open, soft, unwritten. The brain finishes itself not in the dark safety of the womb, but out here, soaked in language, faces, sounds, danger, love, and culture. That is the trade. A ready-born animal is shaped by its genes. A helpless-born human is shaped by its world. Our brains wire themselves around whatever environment they wake up in. Which language we hear becomes the language we speak. The people around us become the way we think. Almost nothing about a human mind is finished at birth, and that is exactly the point. And there is something else hidden in that helplessness. A baby this dependent cannot be raised alone. It demands years of care, feeding, carrying, protecting, teaching. No other animal stays a child for as long as a human does. That long, fragile childhood pulled people together. It rewarded parents who stayed, families who cooperated, groups who shared the work of raising the young. In a strange way, the weakness of our babies may have helped build the deep social bonds that hold human groups together at all. We needed each other, because our children could not survive without a crowd. Helplessness buys plasticity. It buys learning. It buys the strange human ability to be born into almost any culture, any place, any era, and absorb it completely. We are not preloaded. We are open. And an open brain, shaped by the world instead of sealed before it, may be the most powerful thing evolution has ever produced. So the weakness was never just weakness. It was the price of a brain that learns instead of a brain that simply runs on instinct. To get a mind flexible enough to invent language, build cities, and ask questions like this one, evolution had to let us be born too soon and finish us on the outside. So why are human babies born so helpless? Not because we are broken, not because evolution failed, but because somewhere in our history, a narrow body and a growing brain collided, and the only way through was to be born unfinished and to let the world do the rest. Every helpless newborn is carrying that ancient compromise in its tiny, oversized head. The same vulnerability that makes a baby unable to survive a single night alone is the vulnerability that makes it able to become almost anything at all. You were once that helpless, completely open, completely unfinished, completely shaped by whoever happened to be holding you. And maybe that is the strangest thing about being human. We did not become powerful in spite of being born weak. We became powerful because of it. Everything you are was written after you arrived, by a world you did not choose, into a mind that was waiting, unfinished, to be filled.